Oh, it's terrible. Oh, hey, Mama.
Hi, Luis. Is Teresa home?
Nah, she's out with Whitney. The girls at the Bennett's. Put on your best dress because I am taking you out to dinner.
Out to dinner? Why?
Why not? We deserve it. You've been on your feet all day, I'm sure, running around working for the Cranes, and I've had a tough day, too.
Why was your day so hard?
We'll talk about it over dinner. Now go on, get dressed. I'm taking you to the Lobster Shack.
Oh, Luis, the Lobster Shack. That's much too nice.
That's why we're going there. Now go on, get dressed.
Well, all right. But first I want to light the candles for Antonio and your father.
No.
What do you mean? You know I always light the candles and say a prayer and hope that they will return home.
I know why you light them. I don't want you to do it anymore.
Julian Crane.
Well, did you handle it, Julian?
Oh, Father. Handle what?
What did we just talk about?
Oh, the Sheridan situation, yes. Yes, I spoke with her.
And?
I told her that she only imagined what happened that night, that there was no body and no coffin, and the whole thing was nothing more than a young girl's dream.
Good. And how did she respond?
In typical Sheridan fashion, she refused to believe me at first.
What did you say?
What any concerned brother would say. I said she was insane, and I hoped we wouldn't have to commit her to a loony bin.
Splendid.
I didn't think you'd mind.
Mind? Hell no. The reputation of the Crane family must be protected at all costs, even if it means sacrificing Sheridan.
Yes. Even if it means sacrificing Sheridan.
I couldn't have imagined it. Could I?
Sheridan, what are you doing out here?
I just needed some air.
Well, it's freezing. Here, let me walk you back to the cottage.
No.
Sheridan, what is it?
I'm not crazy, am I?
It is so sweet of you to think of this, baby.
Just wanted to show you how much you mean to me. And how very, very much I love you. What's wrong?
I'm just worried about Charity.
Kay is home, right? Simone and Miguel and Reese are too, right? Kay says I'll take care of her. Kay said she would call if there was any kind of a problem.
Evil. 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 Evil.
Oh no. Talbot's in trouble now. That little girl's going to get Timmy's princess. She's going to stop Tabitha from destroying Charity.
What is it, Charity? What's wrong?
Evil.
What's evil?
Evil.
There's no evil here.
Evil.
Tabitha, what's wrong?
Evil. I have no idea.
It's okay,
Evil.
Charity. You're safe.
Evil.
No one wants to hurt you.
Evil. Evil.
Charity.
Evil.
Simone, she's staring right at me. What if she's figured out everything that I've done to keep her and Miguel apart?
You better hope not, Kay.
Evil.
She knows about me. And that damn little girl is behind everything.
Evil. Evil. Evil.
Charity.
Evil.
I would hold the hand of the one who could lead me places, and kiss the lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of the bird I knew could take me highest. Breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
I don't know why you waste your time and prayer on two people who abandoned our family.
Your father and your brother did not abandon this family.
Well, then where are they? Why haven't we heard from them?
Luis, I have asked you before not to speak badly of your father and your brother.
But I am telling...
Now I'm going to light the candles and say a prayer. And then I will get dressed and I will have a nice dinner with my son at the Lobster Shack.
All right. I don't care what you say, Mama. They did abandon us. And I'll bet my life the Cranes know why.
Of course you're not crazy, Sheridan. Why would you say that?
Forget it, Ethan. It's my problem.
Sheridan, I'm your nephew. I love you. If something's wrong, I want to help you deal with it. Now tell me what happened.
I had a talk with Julian about that night.
The night you...
The night I murdered someone.
Sheridan, don't say that.
That's what I believe happened.
What did Father say?
He said it was nothing more than a young girl's overactive imagination. That it was just a bad dream that I had when I fell asleep on the couch in the living room.
But you remember that night so vividly.
That's what I tried to tell him. I mean, how could all these years of pain be caused by nothing more than a child's nightmare?
You've always been so sure about what happened that night.
And ever since I've come back to Harmony, to this house, that night has seemed more real than ever.
I assure you, I handled it beautifully. At this very moment, I'd wager Sheridan's having a major reality crisis.
She has to believe that night was all a dream, a child's nightmare, her overactive imagination.
My exact words to her.
This has to stop. You know why.
Don't worry, Father. There will be no reason for the police to get suspicious.
What's this?
Read it. No. Allow me.
There's a soft wind blowing through the city tonight.
To my wonderful wife, Grace. Your love gives me strength. Your smile is my beacon. You are, and always will be, my love and my light forever.
Sam, that is so beautiful. I love you.
Like the heavens hold the stars, and I'll spend the rest of my
Now, is this any way for the chief of police to behave in public?
Why, I am supposed to set an example, aren't I? And this example is my undying love for my wonderful wife.
Ooh.
Oh, TC, why don't you ever say things like that to me?
Oh, sweetheart, give me time. The night is still young.
My, there must be something in the air. Yes, it seems that both our husbands have romance on their minds.
Great minds do think alike. Don't they, Sammy?
Absolutely.
So, Grace, how's Charity doing?
She was asleep when we left. She had kind of a tough day.
What happened?
She had some memories about the night of the fire.
What does she remember?
Just a growling dog and breaking glass. She couldn't make sense of any of it, but it really upset her.
Just give her some time, Grace. At least she's remembering. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Still, I worry about her.
I told you, honey. Kay said she would call if there was any problems.
I know. I just wish I could shake this feeling that something is just not right.
Charity, talk to me.
Evil.
What's wrong?
Evil.
Why do you keep saying evil? Charity.
Evil.
Oh, no. That little girl must have told Charity that Ted was behind everything. even her mother's death. If only there was some way Timmy could help Tabitha.
Charity's figured out what I've done.
Tell me what's wrong.
I'm finished.
Charity.
Charity's figured out what I've done. I'm finished.
Charity.
You'll never get Miguel to love me.
Evil.
You're right.
Evil.
He'll hate you.
Evil. 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 Evil.
Charity. Charity.
What happened?
Charity, I think she fainted. Charity. Simone, call your mom.
No, don't call Dr. Russell.
Why not? What's the matter with you, Kay? Don't you care about your own cousin? Charity, wake up. Charity. Charity. Why don't you want me to call Dr. Russell, Kay?
I know why. I know what's going on, Kay.
So far, none of these bratty teens can see the little girl's light. But can Charity see it? And what will happen when she wakes up? Will she expose me for the witch I really am? Oh, what to do, what to do?
Do you know what's wrong with her?
She was sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking, you sure?
I'm pretty sure. She exhibited all the signs my parents tell me I have when I sleepwalk.
You sleepwalk, Reese?
Charity.
Well, not so much anymore. At least not that I know of. It's usually triggered by anxiety or being overtired.
Oh, what should we do?
Nothing. It's usually not harmful. You were right, Kay. There's no reason to call Dr. Russell.
That's why I said it.
So what should we do?
Just let her sleep. Wake up on her own. That's what the doctors told my parents to do when I sleepwalk.
All right, I'll put her on the couch.
I'll go get her some water. She may be thirsty when she wakes up.
Thanks, Kay. Wake up, Charity. Where are you going, Tabitha?
Oh, I'm going to get a cold cloth for little Charity.
That's thoughtful, thanks.
Get out. Charity's mine.
Never. Tonight you will be exposed. All the pain you have caused will be revealed.
Not if I can help it. Rat.
Girl is here. Jimmy saw her. What can Jimmy do to help his princess?
No, I'm not sure. But I can't let that little girl expose me.
But what are you going to do? You don't have your powers anymore, Tabitha.
Oh, thanks for reminding me, Timmy.
Charity, please be all right.
Evil. Evil.
I just don't know what to think anymore.
I wish I could help you, but all I know about that night is what you told me.
Are you saying you don't believe me anymore either?
Sheridan, of course I believe you. I'm on your side.
I know, Ethan. I'm just so frustrated.
I just wish there was something concrete. You had some real solid evidence to prove your case.
You sound like a lawyer.
Why don't you approach this like I'd approach one of my cases? I'm a witness defending your story. What facts can I bring to this? The one fact I really know I have is that I heard you scream that night. I know because your scream woke me up.
You never saw anything. A body, coffin.
No, I was told to stay in my room. In fact, I didn't even know what happened until you told me recently.
And Julian and Alistair, they never said anything to you?
Nothing. I was just a kid, a few years younger than you. Adults in the family made it very clear that night was not to be discussed, in or out of the family. My father told me that you had been sent away to boarding school in Paris.
Boarding school. It was a private hospital. I was surrounded by psychiatrists who were all intent on telling me that that night never happened, that I dreamed it all.
But you didn't believe them.
No.
Even as a little girl, you refused to be intimidated because you stuck with what you believe. And you wouldn't have had the courage if you didn't know deep down inside that what did happen that night happened.
But why hasn't anyone in the family told me the truth?
I don't know, but I'm not going to let you suffer anymore. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
How?
We're going to talk to my father. We're going to find out what really happened that night.
So Sheridan didn't believe you at first?
Yes, but don't worry, Father. I could tell I planted quite a few seeds of doubt in her mind.
She can be very willful. I don't want this thing with her to become a problem.
It won't. I'll make sure that what happens stays hidden forever.
Tell us, Father, what has to stay hidden forever?
But this time, I want the truth, Julian.
Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, it's lovely. Flowers, poems. I don't know what's gotten into our men tonight.
I don't either, but I like it a lot.
So do I.
Great, Sam.
Hey, Luis. Pilar.
Sam, hi.
Wonderful.
Great, thank you. So do you.
Sam, thanks again for standing up to Julian Crane for me again today.
Sure. But I think Sheridan deserves some of the credit. I mean, she went to bat for you today, too.
Must have been something in it for her.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Yeah, enjoy your dinner.
See you.
Guess you're wondering what that was all about.
Well, Sheridan did mention that you were at the Crane Mansion today.
Should tell you why.
Not really?
I can tell you why. She almost cost me my job.
You know, you didn't tell me you were at the Crane Mansion today. Was there any trouble?
No, it's just a misunderstanding. We straightened it all out.
Was Ivy there?
Yeah.
Did you talk to her?
Very briefly.
I love you so much. I think we should invite the Cranes over for dinner.
Our house?
Well, yes. You know, it's just polite they invited us to theirs. And I really like Ivy. She's so gracious and down to earth, don't you think?
You know what I think? I think the only thing I want to do tonight is spend a romantic dinner with my wife. You know, I do love you so very, very much.
I love you too, Sam.
Charity's waking up.
That light around her is a little girl, right?
Yes. Luckily, no one but you and I can see it. It's the little girl's way of rubbing it in my face that she's here to protect Charity and expose me. But I've got to stop her. How?
Timmy has faith in this princess. You'll find a way. Tell Timmy that Fluffy didn't get out of the house.
Looks like Fluffy got out of the house.
Timmy said not to say that. Oh no! Help!
Sorry, Dollface. You're gonna have to deal with that cat on your own. I've got my own problems.
Nice kitty. Perch Timmy. Nice Fluffy. Good girl.
Maybe she can tell us what she means now. Charity, what's evil?
are evil, Tabitha, and you're about to be exposed.
That will never happen.
What won't happen? Who are you talking to, Tabitha?
Well, Father?
I'll have to call you back.
Keep me informed.
I will.
So, Julian, what were you talking to Alistair about?
Alistair.
Oh, come on, Julian. I recognize our own father's voice.
You must know we were discussing how to make sure the press never finds out about your stay in that private facility in Paris.
It was a mental hospital. Why don't you just say it?
Well, whatever. The press would have a field day with it.
Oh, I could just imagine their embarrassment of trying to explain why my own father sent his defenseless child away to a mental hospital.
We were trying to save you embarrassment, Sheridan. That's why Father and I both ask you to refrain from any further behavior that might call undue attention to yourself.
What behavior?
Well, crashing into police cars, throwing cream pies at Officer Lopez Fitzgerald.
It was a Halloween prank.
For heaven's sake, you are a grown woman. Frankly, such behavior makes you appear unbalanced.
Unbalanced?
Father and I are only thinking of you, Sheridan.
You weren't thinking of Sheridan. You're hiding something.
He's hiding the truth about that night.
Oh, not that again. I told you.
Sheridan was here in the living room screaming. I heard her screaming.
She was having a nightmare.
I had blood on my hands. There was a body.
There was
Who was it, Julian? I demand to know.
Timmy's gotta make tracks before Fluffy makes tracks all over Timmy. Pushes to the right of Timmy. Pushes to the left of Timmy. Timmy's only escape route is through Fluffy. Timmy likes a challenge, but this is ridiculous.
Who am I talking to? Myself. Terrible habit comes from living alone. I was just thinking what would happen if poor little Charity never got her memory back.
How can you even think something like that?
Exactly. I felt so terrible. I was chastising myself in my mind. So much so that I said, "That will never happen," out loud. Embarrassing. Sorry.
It's okay. Charity.
Help me, Simone. What do I say if Charity tells Miguel what I've done?
You can say goodbye to Miguel.
Where am I?
Charity.
Why am I in the living room?
You were sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking?
Yeah, and you were saying evil over and over.
Evil?
You must have had some sort of a dream, dear. Dreams cause people to sleepwalk and talk in their sleep. Isn't that what you said, Ross?
Reese.
I don't remember having a dream.
Probably didn't mean anything anyway. You should just forget it.
I agree with you, Kay.
I don't. You had a really intense look on your face when you were saying evil. Maybe you had a memory or something.
Memory. Yeah, maybe.
Think, Charity. This could be really important. Can you remember why you were saying evil? I mean, who or what is evil?
Well, that's the mother ring that you and the kids gave me one Christmas. One with 3 stones, one for each of our children.
4.
Sam, you added a stone for Charity.
Oh, she is part of our family now.
So, thanks to Sam, I didn't lose my job.
Sam and Sheridan. I hope you thank her, Luis.
No, why should I?
Because she stood up to Julian for you.
She's only using me to get at him.
What do you mean?
Well, it's pretty obvious to me that there's some grudge between them. Typical Crane. They always have some motive for everything.
TC, thank you for a wonderful evening.
No, it's not over yet.
Oh, TC, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Well, maybe we should sit down.
No, sweetheart, I'm fine.
Please, the song's over anyway. TC, I know I've already asked you this before, but won't you please tell me what's wrong with your knee?
Eve.
Honey, I'm not only your wife, I'm a doctor. Maybe we can run some tests. Maybe it can be fixed.
It can't be fixed.
But how do you know?
There's nothing that can be done.
Well, then won't you at least tell me what happened? What did you do to it?
I didn't do anything to it. It's what was done to me. I know you were involved, Julian. I can't prove it right now, but I swear to you, when I find out, I'll kill you.
TC, what is it? You frighten me when you get that look on your face.
It's someone else who should be frightened. If I ever get the proof I need, sweetheart, I swear I will.
Let it go, Sheridan.
I want a name, Julian. Who was the body under the bloody sheet? Who was the corpse in the coffin?
There never was a corpse.
Yes, there was!
She just wants to know the truth, Father.
I'll tell you the truth. You were a child. You fell asleep on the couch in the living room. You had a bad dream. You woke the entire household with your screaming. Father tried to comfort you, but you were hysterical. You kept going on and on about a body, a corpse.
There was
puppet.
a body!
There was no body! Even as a child, you were overly emotional, overly dramatic. You wouldn't calm down, so Father had no choice but to send you for treatment in Paris.
Why couldn't she have been treated here in the States?
The family couldn't risk the story getting out. You know how Alistair abhors publicity.
He didn't want anyone to know that I had seen a body.
No, he didn't want anyone to hound his obviously already unbalanced daughter. He wanted you to be treated in privacy. He cared about your welfare, Sheridan.
Why didn't anyone talk to me about this? And why did the family refuse to tell me about all this until now?
The French psychiatrist told us not to challenge your beliefs. You were young, you were fragile. They were concerned you'd suffer a lifetime of emotional harm.
Wait a minute. Sheridan's been a grown woman for years. Why didn't anyone say anything before now about this?
As long as the story never got out, the family didn't care.
You mean the family didn't care about me?
No. Bring out the violins. Here we go again.
It's the truth, isn't it?
We didn't tell you because we assumed, fools that we were, that you would act like a grown-up and move on with your life.
I can't stop seeing these images. The body in the coffin.
It never happened.
Yes, it did.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes.
Would you bet your life on it? And would you bet your family's life on it? Because that's what you're doing if you continue to insist that you saw a body in this room that night. You're jeopardizing the future of the entire Crane family, including Ethan. Is that what you want to do?
So much for trying to get by Fluffy. Back, Fluffy, back! If only Siegfried and Roy were here. Fluffy, you hothead. Timmy's going to cool you down. Victory is mine! Yes! Timmy the boss man!
Can you remember who or what you thought was evil?
No, I really don't remember. I'm sorry.
That was close. You have some luck, Kay. But you're gonna need a lot more to get Miguel away from Charity.
I need a plan. Or an ally.
You want to go back upstairs and lie down again?
Oh, I don't think that's such a good idea, Miguel. I mean, Charity might have another bad dream, and I think it's just best if she forgets it.
Kay's right. What Charity needs is to clear her mind. Relax. And I know just how to do it.
How, Reese?
Word games.
Word games. What a nerd.
That could take Charity's mind off her dream about evil.
You're right. I'll go get a game.
I love games. You kids don't mind if I join you, do you?
No, of course not, Tabitha.
I can't leave while that little girl is flitting around.
Are you okay, Tabitha?
Oh, yes, I'm fine, dear, fine.
Sweetheart, I'm sorry. I don't mean to frighten you.
I just want to help, TC. Well, if you change your mind, you want to talk, I'll be here.
Look at all this romance.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yep, our husbands are the very best. Just afraid this might be our last romantic dinner.
Why do you say that?
Well, now that you're spending all that time up on the hill at the Crane Mansion, hobnobbing with the rich and famous, you're just not gonna have time for plain old me anymore.
Honey, that is ridiculous. I went up to the Crane Mansion tonight on police business.
Well, still, I think I better keep my eye on my big old police chief of a husband. Especially now that you're hanging out with the beautiful and sophisticated Ivy and Sheridan Crane.
You met Sheridan Crane?
Yeah, briefly.
What'd you think of her?
I don't know. I didn't really see her that long.
I think she's so beautiful, and I've only seen her in photographs. But somehow she always seems a little bit sad.
I know what you mean. I met her recently at the hospital. I got the same impression.
I wonder where that sadness comes from.
I would never do anything to hurt Ethan's future.
I know that, Sheridan. Father's just using it as an excuse to get to you.
The only thing I want to get from my sister is her word that she'll forget this ridiculous childhood fantasy of hers.
Don't you think I want to forget too?
Well, then just do it. Think of the family for once in your life.
Has anyone in this family besides Ethan ever thought of me and my feelings? Certainly not Father. He always blamed me for Mother's death.
Oh, that's absurd.
Mother never recovered after my birth. And Alistair never forgave me for that.
Father never blamed you for anything. It's your overly active imagination again. The psychiatrists even said so.
The psychiatrist?
In fact, they think that was the cause of your dream.
What?
And subconsciously, you always felt guilty over Mother's death. Ergo, the coffin, the blood you claim to have seen on your fingers, symbolizes your guilt over her death.
They said that?
Well, even you have to admit that makes sense.
It seems so real. The body.
For the last time, there was no body. Sheridan, for heaven's sake, would you get on with your life and stop using a ridiculous childhood fantasy as a crutch to justify a lifetime of personal failures and disastrous relationships?
Father, that's wrong and unfair.
Maybe my brother is right.
Of course I'm right.
I need to get out of here.
Sheridan, let me take you to dinner in town.
Let me go freshen up and then meet me at my cottage.
Did you have to be so hard on her?
Yes. If it'll finally make her believe the truth.
I don't really believe you.
I don't care, Ethan. But do us all a favor. Won't you talk your beloved auntie out of her ridiculous fantasy about dead bodies. Nothing good will come of it for her or for you. You're not good for any of us, Sheridan.
Well, how did it go?
As expected, she fought me, but her doubts are growing by leaps and bounds.
Nothing can go wrong with this situation, Julian.
Nothing will, Father. I'm aware of how vital it is to the family's interests that Sheridan be kept in check.
I will not tolerate any embarrassment to the Crane family.
Don't worry, Father. Sheridan will never cause us any problems again.
Thanks. Oh, no, Luis is here. Do you want to leave?
No, I don't care about Luis right now. All I care about is finding out if there was a body or if I am crazy like Alistair and Julian seem to think. You should go over and thank her for helping you today, Luis.
No way.
She didn't have to stick up for you.
Look, I don't want the Cranes to do anything for me. You know what? I take that back. I want them to do one thing. Explain their connection to Papa's disappearance.
You know, maybe I should check on Charity and see how she's doing.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, then go ahead.
Am I being overprotective?
Grace? Never.
Well, I'm sure Kay would call if anything was wrong with Charity.
That's right. There's nothing at home that we should have to worry about tonight.
Do you remember how to play Charity?
No.
All right, I'll show you. First, pick 7 tiles.
No fair Tabitha peeking at Charity's tiles.
Oh, of course.
Why doesn't Tabitha get out of there? That little girl is nothing but trouble.
This is fun. Games that stimulate the intellect are the ultimate thrill. Okay, Charity, now it's your turn.
And I can make any word that I want.
Just try to use as many of your tiles as you can.
Now Charity will reveal your true evil.
That's the evil.